You mentioned that the stock market affects retirees, teachers, firemen, people who, are depending on those 401ks. A lot of our viewers tend to skew in that older group. I'm curious because I joined the ranks of Medicare this coming Monday. Remind me that you're going to take care of Medicare and Social Security and all those
and
people.
Pre-existing conditions like nobody ever did. If you look at the mandate, the individual mandate, that was the worst part of Obamacare. I got rid of it. That really means you got rid of Obamacare. In the truest sense, we did terminate Obamacare because we got rid of the individual mandate, which is a terrible thing for people. It was so unfair to people. So we got rid of the worst part of Obamacare. And without it, you don't have Obamacare. But we've run the carcass of Obamacare very well, and that the people are doing better than they would have done. I had a choice to make. Do I run it badly and blame Obama, or do I run it as well as it can be run? It's no good, but do I run it as well as it can? And we've done that. They've done a great job, and they've made it as good as it can be.
One of the big things that has happened recently is the breakthrough in the Middle East with the UAE and Israel.
Right.
Our viewers care deeply about Israel. It's a big issue for all of us. I don't think people even saw that coming.
They didn't see that coming. And when I moved the embassy, to Jerusalem, and then Golan Heights, throw that on, and then terminating the Iran deal to, a friend of mine, I said, which is the biggest, Golan Heights or moving the embassy, creating the capital, Jerusalem, or what do you think? He said, neither. I said, what do you mean neither? He said, the biggest thing you did for Israel is breaking the Iran nuclear deal.
We've seen riots and looting in major American cities, and not one time did one of the Democrats during the Democrat National Convention openly condemn it as being immoral and wrong.
They don't even mention it. They don't mention police. They don't mention law and order. They don't mention the fact that they're going to take away your guns because, right now, people want the Second Amendment more than they've ever wanted. They don't mention that, Mike. The Second Amendment is so big. Life is so big. Supreme Court is so big. We're going to announce very soon a list of 25 judges and that we are going to, propose as potential people to go on the Supreme Court. I want them to announce their list. Because you can imagine, and they said they're not going to do it, but they're going to put on radical left judges, and you can forget about pro-life, you can forget about your Second Amendment, you can forget about everything, because the next president, I think, is going to have anywhere from 2, 3, maybe 4 justices that will be really a very dominant court.
You've had a stunning record on sanctity of life. No president, none, not Reagan, nobody has done more. Why does that matter to you on a personal level? Not the politics of it, but personally.
Well, I've seen it, and I've seen it with a friend of mine where they were going to go the abortion route, and they didn't do it. And they have one of the finest young people I've ever met, and they can't even think about it now. I mean, they were very close to doing that. But I've seen that a number of times. I've seen it, and especially since I'm president, so many people have told me, they were going to go the other route, and they didn't do it, and now they have, a young person getting ready to graduate from college and doing so well in life. No, it's a beautiful thing, and that issue can change radically, drastically, if you put in just one more judge that's on the radical left, because sort of it's a tie court right now. This is going to be the most important election in the history of our country. That's what I think. The Democrat Party has gone so far left, they don't care about law and order. They don't, life is just the opposite, okay? I mean, it's the exact opposite. And they're going to obliterate your Second Amendment. They're going to get rid of it.
And, I look at things, taxes would go up, border security would go down. The clarity and difference between the issues are stunning.
Well, there's never been a bigger difference.
No, there's never been.
They want to raise your taxes through the roof, quadruple. They want to raise your taxes. They want to give you socialized medicine, so you're not going to have your doctors, you're not going to have your plans. And, Obama said 28 times you could keep your doctor, you could keep your plan. It was a lie. The guy lied, just like he spied on my campaign. And he lied so much about health care, and he said 28 times, you keep your doctor, you keep your plan. It was all a lie.
Final question, because I know you've got things you've got to get to, and we must let you do it. You've outlined a very clear difference between you and the former vice president. But there's still people who say, but President Trump tweets things that offend me, or he says things in an abrasive way.
Yeah.
Reassure them that that's not the issue that they're going to vote on in November.
Sometimes I feel I'm in this fight alone, or I'm in this fight with a few Republicans, and I always say the Republicans have to get tougher. So I have to speak quickly and strongly in order to win, because we have to win. You look at pro-life, you look at what I've done on the Second Amendment, they haven't gotten anything on this. I'm telling you, a normal person, just a regular person, you wouldn't have a Second Amendment now. It would be gone or it would be meaningless, one or the other. As far as Twitter is concerned, if I didn't have that, you probably wouldn't be interviewing me right now, unless you did maybe as a businessman or something. I wouldn't be here right now being interviewed. It's a way of, the press is so corrupt. It's so fake, the news. People have no idea. Now they're learning, but it is such a fake news. When you look at it, you look at the networks, you look at CNN, MSDNC, you look at the New York Times, Washington Post. It's so fake that if I wasn't able to put out my thoughts in social media, through Twitter or whatever, but put out my thoughts, honestly, I wouldn't be here, Mike. I wouldn't be here, probably wouldn't be talking to you.
Well, I'm glad you are.
So I'm glad.
Thanks for having us.
that reason alone.
Appreciate your hosting us and giving us an opportunity to visit with you.
That's a great honor. Thank you. You're doing a great job, too. Thank you very much.